Welcome to Sibiu in Romania for round 7 of the ERC 2013, the Sibiu Rally. Sibiu, a gravel rally with some tarmac portions, and the gravel sections extremely rough in places. Punctures and suspension damage as well to be watched out for, all a constant threat. Well located some 282 kilometres northwest of Bucharest, Sibiu was the capital of the Principality of Transylvania between 1692 and 1791. It's one of the most important cultural centres of Romania, and the city designated a European Capital of Culture in 2007. It is beautiful. Well, it makes for one of the most scenic and spectacular service parks in international rallying, with quaint historic buildings lining the Piazza Mare, the large square in the centre of town. Well, leading after stage 3, Brian Bouffier, this former winner of the Monte Carlo, but on stage 4, 2 shocks and a drive shaft broken and retirement beckoned. Jan Kapecki in the Skoda Fabia S2000 lost time on stage 2 with power steering issue. Yes, and on these tough roads, that is a tough thing to handle. Took the lead after Bouffier's retirement, though. Francois Delacour, you can't keep an old dog down, it seems. Attacked hard on the first stages. Had to slow down a bit to save his car, and indeed the tyres. So rough were the sections, but if that's slowing down, well, what isn't? Second after stage 5, 23.7 seconds behind Kapecki was Delacour. Third overall, Coletti, Edwin, in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10, the N4 class, leading the Production Cup, first of the Romanian drivers. Well, into the night we went. Great atmosphere, thousands of spectators for the 2 night stages. Big TV screens put up, air balloons everywhere, and, well, fires aplenty, so the smell of sausages, naturally. Oh, and beer. And flags. Everybody smiling. Yes, big attack on the first stage of leg 1. Told you there were balloons. Francois Delacour just loves driving in the dark. It's one thing you either love or you hate, but when there's dust around, that is not great, and he was hampered by it. Still fastest time on the stage. Reduced gap on Kapecki, though. And what about Jan, the man? Leading 15.4 seconds ahead of Delacour going into leg 2 on song. And so this is how they stand, or stood, after leg 1. Kapecki ahead of Delacour by that margin we mentioned. Coletti close at hand. And the rest of your top 10. Another bright and sunny day. It seems they've got a whole catalogue full of them, and it's those pages they selected. Temperatures exceeding 30 Celsius. Strange, silvery, illuminating light. Well, another 7 stages to go on leg 2. 2 stages on tarmac. Those being 8 and 11. Problem is tyre selection when you have all that mixed surface to deal with. First loop of 3 stages, stage 8 full tarmac. Stage 9, the longest of the rally, in 30 kilometres in length. And stage 10, 20 kilometres, but extraordinarily rough. A real car eater. Fresh as a daisy then. Marco Tempestini, the Skoda Fabia S2000. The car didn't look like this by the end. 5th on the road, struggling like all the other drivers on the rough roads. Almost seemed cruel to the vehicles. 3rd quickest time on stage 10. 5th in the standings, Tempestini, and kicking one up. Stop. Toshirai, 6th on the road in the Subaru Impreza R4. 2nd in the Production Cup after stage 8, but like all the other drivers, Arai not pushing on 8. Yes, a full tarmac stage. That in order to save his gravel tyres for the two following longer stages, one of which we mentioned extremely rough. Still suffering the effects of build-up of dust in his car on day one. 10 seconds faster than Coletti on stage 9, the longest stage, and took the lead in the production cup on stage 10. Good boy. Seventh on the road, Dan Gertofan. Yes, fighting with Coletti for third in the overall, and of course the lead in the Romanian Championship. He indeed topping that list. 2.5 seconds between Gertofan and Coletti after stage 8, but all hopes of a podium disappearing on 9. Skoda Fabia S2000 stopped in the stage with well, a technical issue. With plenty of them by the day's end. Edwin Coletti, his Mitsubishi Evo 10, 8th on the road, leading that production cup 13.3 seconds ahead of Arai before stage 8. His aim to score big points in the Romanian Championship, up one position after Gertofan's retirement on stage 9, and finishes stage 9 with brakes close to being on fire. Fourth overall, second in the production cup, 7.6 seconds behind Arai in both standings. Coletti. Evo looking strangely dated now. Francois Delacour in the Peugeot 207 S2000, 9th on the road, driving extremely carefully apparently on stage 9. Said there were just too many rocks in the middle of the road. Hard to argue. That camera has a Steadicam program to it, and you can see how it's rattling. Well, Delacour saying he wasn't pushing anymore, broke the front shock on stage 10, and then got himself a puncture later on. Second overall, though, 4 minutes and 12 seconds ahead of Arai, so a bit of a cushion in that position. Cushion's probably what you need with those roads. Jan Kopecki 10th out there, and setting the first of the 3 fastest times on those 3 opening stages of the day, and well, was flying, as you saw. So he was driving with his head, avoiding the rocks on the road, so not allowing himself the full feel of the car, that symbiosis that drivers talk about. There's the second pass. On stage 12 and 13 would be even tougher, so wanted to keep something in the bank. Said at the end it was probably something for a Dakar vehicle in places. Obviously looking for a bit more suspension travel. A clear lead over Delacour by 1 minute and 6 seconds after 10 stages though. This is Raoul Bidieu in a Dacia Logan, and that's not what you want. An intriguing moment, the steering wheel coming off on a left-hand corner. Luckily, he got away with it. Still in the race. Kopecki ahead of Delacour by 1 minute and 6. Arai running in 3rd place, running on Yokohama's as well, interestingly. Coletti chasing on. So back to Sibiu for the midday service, and Toshi Arai happy to be back at service, and not feeling well after yesterday's stage. Looked a bit peaky, not his usual smiley self.
Last stage we have so many dust in the car. There I have some ear, and so stomach is very pain, and everything not so good, and yeah.
Well, they say eat dust, don't they? I guess you have to if you're following on. And Arai not happy. Try a stomach settler. Poor chap. Well, Arai took 3rd place and the lead in the production cup from the local Edwin Catelli.
I really have to decide in the service area if I want to push for European glory or to focus on the national championship main objectives which for our sponsors and everybody are paramount. So I don't know, we will have some tough time now to decide.
Ease up or go for it, big question. Still 4 stages to go, so you're just going to have to stay with us. Welcome back to Romania, leg 2 of the ERC Sibiu Rally. Second run through the stages, but 13 cancelled due to extremely rough conditions. They're just being too soft on these guys. And so stage 12, David Botka in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. 4th on the road, 4th quickest. Had problems, sadly, with the intercom. That affects notes delivery from the co-driver, and it's not a happy situation to be in. 5th overall, 36 seconds behind 4th place. Meanwhile, Marco Tempestini, with that rather extended sunshade, looks like he's looking through a letterbox. 6th quickest, didn't hamper him. Remains 4th ahead of Botka in the standings. Still at the end of the stage, it looks like we're going to finish the rally, but that hasn't happened to me for a long time. There we are. So finishing becoming an aim for Tempestini. Finishing with his illness for Toshi Arai. Still not too good, I'm afraid. Despite that, manages to finish in 3rd on the rocky road.
Very, very long. 50. -4 right long.
Fighting for 3rd with Edwin Coletti. And here is, well, we'll see Coletti in a few moments' time, I beg your pardon. Re-engaging the battle between the Subaru and the Mitsubishi, which has been going on for, well, decades. 12.3 seconds behind Arai in the standings. Unfortunately, the fight for that podium finished in the middle of that 12th stage. Coletti stopping the car, front right suspension damaged and out. Arai now almost safe in 3rd overall as a result. Francois Delacour, 13th quickest, 1 minute and 16 slower than on his opening pass. Decided to drive conservatively. Yeah, that's conservatively. No risks at all, he said. Just wants to finish this one above all other considerations. Nearly 3 minutes behind the lead, but also 3 minutes ahead of Arai. And Jan Kopecki, who else? Fastest time again. Same exact time as his first run through. Said he was on safe mode. Said at the end of the stage, I'm driving smoothly, obviously with a different accent. Could drive faster, but I'd be risking a puncture, he said. Something about check notes. Valentin Porcistiano in an Evo 10, 11th on the road, just behind Kopecki. Well, we'll see him in a minute. And here is Porcistiano. 3rd time, 2nd fastest on the day. So a couple of runners-up spots through the stages, and pretty handy as well. It looks like a very long machine, does it not? No technical issues like on leg 1 so far. Going great, he said. 6 overall, but sadly with a 1 minute penalty picked up along the way.